Hello, my little pretties. Have you been having a fun, spooky October? It's Halloween night, and you know what that means. It's time for my original Halloween story I do every year. I can't wait to share it with you. Hi, I'm Bonnie Overman. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope my channel will inspire you to lead a more productive, creative, and stylish life at any age, always on a budget. You know I'm 73 now, and I just say it because if I can do it, I know you can do it too. I have confidence in you. I want to thank all my dear sweet friends, all my wonderful subscribers that watch my videos, that take the time to comment. It means the world to me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. You don't want to miss any of this. I will be back next year on October 1st. But Christmas is coming up and it's just going to be so much fun. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. It does help my channel. Oh, right, to my little pretties. It's time to get out my witch book. Now, you know, every year on Halloween, I open my witch book to a new story, and it always has a moral. This is the opening of my book, and it says Stories by Bonnie. The first year we did my ghoul that I made, Helsa, and her story of the Civil War and her long-lost love. The next year was the competition and how being too ruthless is not a good thing. The next year was The Little Witch, the story about flying through the sky and always listening to your mother. Last year, and this one was when I was the Candy Witch. It was all about candy. And what is this one about? You got it. It's all about Wicked Wonderland. And I call this one Alice Takes a Stand. All right, my little pretties. So if you remember, there was a time when Alice became a sea captain and she had her own ship. Reference is Tim Burton's movie in about 2008. And she was getting very tired of fighting all the battles, coming back to Wonderland and trying to support them too. So she came back from her latest trip. She would go for a month or two out to sea and then come back to the little town where Wonderland was. And she said, I must pay a visit to all my friends. And she was very disappointed. She went through Wonderland and found that her ghoulish garden was overgrown with weeds. And there was Cheshire Cat with all his little mice helpers sleeping and snoring. She went down the road a little further and there were the Tweedles, both of them. And they're sitting there playing games on their phones. She walked down the path a little bit more and there was White Rabbit with his head in his hands on the tea table with nobody around him, and he was sobbing. What's wrong, White Rabbit? Oh, I have no customers. I have nobody to have tea with. Oh, woe is me. All right, Rabbit, we'll take it easy. We'll figure this out. And as she approached the Mad Hatter's house, she could hear in the distance the Red Queen, the White Queen, yelling and screaming and arguing with each other. Oh, doesn't seem like anything's changed at Wonderland. And she went down the street and there was Mad Hatter's house. Mad Hatter came running outside and said, Alice, I'm so glad you're here. There's somebody I want you to meet. So she came in and met Mad Hatter's new girlfriend, who was the local town seamstress and tailor. He made hats, she made clothes. A perfect match. They were so happy together, and Alice was so glad to meet her. She says, so this is going to be my very last time going out to sea on my ship. I plan to move back in town, buy a little cottage, and maybe open a bookstore. Mad Hatter clapped his hands. He says, oh yes, that will be so delightful, Alice. Alice said, come on, let's sit down. We need to talk. She said, I have to take a stand, Mad Hatter. I know you've been trying so hard and you've been so successful selling your custom hats through the internet, but Wonderland is going to pot. There's weeds everywhere. Nobody's doing anything, and I can't help support Wonderland anymore. Didn't you wonder how they could support all their things with nobody working, drinking tea and crumpets all day? Yes. So it was time to get down to business. And Alice said, I'm taking a stand. I want to meet everybody here tomorrow, and we're going to come up with a plan, Hatter. He said, that is fabulous, Alice, because I'm sick of the only one being the only one that's working around here too. So the next morning, they all showed up. There were the Tweedles on their phones playing games. The cat, the mice, and the rabbit were all asleep in the chairs. The queens were arguing, and Mad Hatter came out with a gavel and hit it on his table and said, "Wake up, everybody. Stop yelling. Wake up. We are making a plan today for Wonderland to make it more prosperous because..." Take it away, Alice. Alice said, yes, I'm taking a stand. I am going to go on one more shipping trip, and I'm coming back, and I'm settling down. And I would love to meet somebody and, fall in love and have a family and have children. They all looked at her and they all hung their heads. They knew they had not kept up their part of the bargain. She said, okay, I've got a plan for all of you. Cheshire Cat and your mice, you guys are in charge of keeping Alice's Ghoulish Garden alive and sell those eyeball flowers. Not the biting ones, the eyeball flowers. Tweedledum and Tweedledee, you're on your phones all the time. Are you good at social media? Oh yeah, we're the best. We're on Instagram and blah, 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 blah. Okay, you are in charge of promoting special events and promoting Wonderland for tours. Oh, they were excited about that. We'll set up that website right now. White Rabbit, instead of crying that nobody's at your tea table, why don't you open up a little tiny tea and sandwich shop? And all the new people that are going to come to tour Wonderland and to come and to some of the events are going to want to drink something and eat something. So you can do that. Okay, that sounds like a plan. I'll get right to that. And Queens, tomorrow we are building a wall down the center of your property. Red Queen, you are in charge of the gardens, the red roses, and you have to plant other colors too. She said, oh, I would like that very much. White Queen, you were in charge of weddings and special events. She said, oh, yes, I would be very good because I love to decorate and have people over. All right, you all, I'll see you back in a month. It's going to be right before Halloween. That would be a good opportunity for you guys to have a Halloween festival. Yes, yes. So Alice went out to sea and she came back and said, I am going to go to Wonderland. It's one of the first things. She went to come up to the gate of Wonderland and there were ghosts and goblins and pumpkins galore. It was so beautiful and Halloweeny. There was families with their children all dressed in costumes ready to trick or treat. She walked in the gate. Alice's Ghoulish Garden was beautifully kept. There was a pumpkin carving contest, and they were selling eyeball plants. Down a little further, there were the Tweedles with their little desk, signing people up, offering promotions to promote Wonderland. Good idea. Down the road a little bit more, there was the White Rabbit Cafe. Him and his wife, we didn't know that, but he had a wife, and he has approximately 500 children rabbits. You know how rabbits are. Anyway, they were all working and helping in the little sandwich shop, and they served more than tea, and they were a big success. Rabbit jumped up and down and waved. Down a little farther, she could see the queens talking together, laughing and hugging each other, and they were being very, very prosperous. Walked into the Mad Hatter shop. It was full of people buying hats just like this. Right? Custom Wonderland witch hats, regular witch hats, all kinds of hats. And his girlfriend was also sewing custom clothes and accessories and bags and scarves and vests and all kinds of things. Alice was so excited. She walked over to Hatter and just hugged him and said, thank you so much for helping them and guiding them and getting them to become more self-sufficient. That's all I wanted for you guys all these years. He said, Alice, I'm so glad. Thank you for all your help. And now that you're living in town, you can come visit anytime. She says, I gotta go now. He goes, oh, do you have a date? She goes, as a matter of fact, I do have a date and I don't want to be late. See you later. Happy Halloween. And Mad Hatter said, Happy Wicked Wonderland. The end. Anyway, I'm going to close my witch book on my story this year. I wanted to give a whole nother dimension to Alice in Wonderland. I've used it so much this year in my fair table. I used it 2 years ago in my Christmas in Wonderland table, Alice's Ghoulish Garden, Wicked Wonderland, my whole theme for Halloween this year, and my hat. It's been a beautiful, fun, wonderful month. I hope you've been as entertained as I've been. And I have to ride off. I can hear my broom calling me. You know, I'm going to ride away until next year, October 1st, and I will be back as a new witch. What? I don't know yet, with a whole new theme and lots of fun. But in the meantime, you have to stay tuned and come visit me tomorrow. Bonnie will be back with Countdown to Christmas and Countdown to Thanksgiving. We cannot wait. We're in the holidays. Get the holiday spirit and let's have some fun. I hope you really enjoyed this whole month. The crafts, the costumes, the costume show, the parties, the decor, and of course me, the Wicked Witch from Wonderland. And I will see you tomorrow in a brand new video. Bye.